Hey y'all, it's
What's going on?
As you guys know or can see, Sincere is missing. He is currently in Las Vegas, doing his one too. Hope you win big. But in the meantime, y'all know I couldn't come on here and by myself. Dolo, I had to call in the reinforcements. Remember her. This is Chaz. You know,
What's going on, everybody?
And she's here. She's
What's going on? We're gonna rock this thing out.
Of course, you guys know, like, we're supposed to have a business of the week, but I think she in Vegas too, so I don't know. Hey, how you doing? So today, of course, you know, I'm gonna go straight into my Peaches picks, and I took a lot of notes on this. And this is a tribute to Mark, since he ain't here and he was talking that cash shit about us women and what we don't know what we want when I was missing. However, we gonna hit it on the soft end though. We're gonna talk about the NCAA. If a lot of y'all don't know, there's a federal, a Supreme Court ruling is challenging the fact that students it's illegal to pay the students to come to their universities or to pay them any type of salary. You know, this is really like kind of like tools of unpaid labor, you know, and they want to they're calling it as amateurism. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I ain't gonna tell y'all what I'm doing. Okay, so the case is called the NCAA versus Austin. And it's pretty much they're trying to change the ruling as to, you know, paying the players to come play for these college teams. You know, the argument is that these colleges and these powerhouse basketball and football programs is exploiting the students they recruit, which they are, whatever. And they went in and tried to pitch this thing to the Supreme Court. It ended up looking stupid because they was talking about how their program bring in billions of dollars, you know, and they fund enormous salaries. Them coaches is getting paid, you know. If y'all watch Housewives of Utah, y'all know what I'm talking about. And they're funding these whole athletic programs based off the backs of these students, and it's against the law for them to do anything or whatever. And when they go on and tell a story and look back on their lives, they realizing that they had it harder than what they should have. You know, these student athletes, they arguing they are used up, and then some of them don't even end up with a college education if they can't fulfill that thing, and then they're just discard it, you know. I just feel like we got to start setting the standard. If these laws change, y'all sell the stock, because these programs they're going to incapacitate them. You know, it's just going to not be a way to maintain that and pay these students what they owe.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times too, it's very unfortunate because it is, especially for our like the African American community. You know, they waive these dollars, which is not even a lot of money, and then like you said, they end up. What if they end up getting hurt or whatever the case may be? They don't even have the education. Then they end up, like you said, getting discarded, and they don't have nothing. And these people have now made billions of dollars off of these students, trying to get them into these big schools or making these promises that they're going to go into these big schools. And at the end of the day, they're the ones that are getting the short end of the stick. Like you said, they may not even make it to the NFL, basketball, NBA, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. This is another reason why we gotta watch these judges and these people that we're voting in public office and hope that Absolutely. They have a clear frame of mind and they're doing things by the book and enacting change when necessary. You know, speaking of that, what's big is the Major League Baseball pulled their All-Star game out of Atlanta for the 2021 All-Star game. That was dope. You know, it was based off of because of the voter suppression laws that they passed. So the baseball, Major League Baseball, they were getting a lot of shun because they was the last to show up during racial reckoning. Everybody made a speech, came out. It took them 9 days to back the players, and that was only because the backlash. But when y'all think about it, and we as our people, we think about baseball, we think about Jackie Robinson and how they parade him around and talk about the records that he shattered. Yet you guys are still you still haven't showed up. You didn't pick a side when it was time to fight. And then what was the slap in the face is the Braves and that statement that they made. Like, they was disappointed and pretty much tried to say that it was gonna took it out of the hands or the mouths of the citizens because they didn't reap the benefits of having that game. I think we need to look at it like this. First of all, one of them games, them all-star games, that's a reward. That's not a right. You're standing on suppression or whatever, which is the reason y'all remember Hank Aaron ain't want to play for them because he felt like they was prejudiced and they were biased or whatever. But pretty much the statement that the Braves put out was very disrespectful. It was condescending, and it furthermore shows who running this stuff.
And let's not just say, I mean, yes, the Braves made the statement, but let's know that it's across the board. You know what I'm saying? It's not just them. It's across the board. And it goes back to the same thing that we was just talking about, and the major league and any type of thing like that. That is racism. Definitely. Definitely.
I was wondering, like, how can we make a strategic, like, to pressure them or whatever. At first, I was gonna say, maybe they should in like Texas and Georgia, maybe they shouldn't go to those schools, or maybe they shouldn't play for those teams because, due to them trying to suppress us as a people, But then again, when you got some money dangling in front of somebody, money talk, bullshit walk. So
absolutely.
But
and a lot of times we don't even see that. We don't even see the stuff that's going on. I mean, we're seeing this because it has made it. But imagine how many coaches. I mean, we've seen it in the headlines. We've seen it in the news. How many coaches? These kids are getting cars. They're getting money. They're getting all these things, and their families. They're being bribed to come to these schools because these people know that individual has the potential to be something great, and so they're going to do it by any means necessary. Going to try to get them to that school, and it's unfortunate.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about the major league or
whatever. Oh, major league.
But that type of pressure been working or whatever. Remember, like in 1991 in Arizona when they the NFL refused to give them the day off, a paid day off for Martin Luther King. They pressured, that was a big thing right there. That was something that they stood on and applied pressure to get that change or whatever. Then y'all know the NBA pulled out the All-Star game out of Charlotte because of that that bathroom bill. Remember they was passing the bill where you whatever you was born as, that's the bathroom that you had to use, and they pulled them out. They didn't host their All-Star game in Charlotte or whatever.
So,
and then it's one more.
Okay.
The NCAA, right? They will not, for the last 15 years, they will not play a championship or bring anything to South Carolina because of the Confederate flag and how they fought to, retain it. So for the last 15 years, that's why y'all ain't heard of nothing being in South Carolina when it came to college. What you was about to say, Chaz?
No, I was gonna say, I read Damon's comment. He said it's guys like Hubert Davis. He became the first Black coach of the Tar Heels, and this dude went out of his way to say he is proud to have a white wife. I heard him speaking on the radio today, and I was listening. He was like, "I'm so proud to be African American. I'm so proud to be the one of the first Black African American coaches." And I mean, he went on this whole long rant about how he was Black and proud, and then he said, I'm proud I have a white wife. And like he said, he didn't even say her name. He didn't even say her name. And
Yeah,
so it
but
was
it's
crazy that he
supposed
even,
to, though. That's what it is. Like he didn't look at her as his significant other. He
yeah,
looked at her as something to parade around
a
and
status, like Damon said, a status.
yeah, but I'm thinking that they need to do all of that or whatever. And while we talking about Georgia and their laws, they need to pull the PGA out of Augusta. That bring in big money. Everybody always want to talk about the NFL, the NBA,
Hmm.
um NBA,
And PGA
like
tournaments,
the
big
PGA
money.
tournaments, them Tiger Woods and all of them that's making them big bank, pull that out of there too. It's something that's something that you can do to apply pressure to the point where they'll get the picture. Because I tell you, can't play with nobody money, but it won't be enough pressure to directly affect the citizens of that community. So
Right.
you can play both. Pull the rug from up out of them or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'm still on football. Shout out to Mark. I'm still on these sports. I already do that. Cavs my team, so I ain't really got nothing to say. But okay, but did y'all also know that it's a they're trying to do a black NFL ownership or whatever. The league is called the African American Sports and Entertainment Group. It's a group of black professionals, and they're looking to purchase the professional football team and bring it to Oakland. The Raiders went to what, Vegas?
Hmm.
So it's up. But my thing is, everybody know that getting in those and getting those leagues and buying teams, that's an exclusive club. And 9 times out of 10, like the people already been and picked who they want for them slots or whatever. So
Hmm.
this is another thing where it might be the right time because the pressure is on them for change and that would be a grand gesture or whatever. But when you think about it, how is it that 70% of the NFL players is black, but we don't have a black owner?
Not at all.
None of
And
that.
so I think that, how do you think, how, me personally, I feel, how far will that go? How far will it go when
Hmm.
that industry is predominantly white? I mean, like you said, there it is white. I mean, like, where do you see a black owner at?
Yeah, it's just gonna be like something like what I feel like the world is doing now. It's kind of like a shift in demographics or whatever. And I don't want to use the woke term, and more people are coming out or whatever. Just like what's that Texas GOP? What's his name? Chuck. I can't think of his last name,
Mm-mm.
but they pushed the do them 24 voter restriction bills or whatever. It's big. These bills will disenfranchise like millions of black people just in
Mm-hmm.
minorities. And this is something that the Republicans is doing because they're scared or whatever. And it's like and they using the term voter protection rights. But y'all
Mm-hmm.
know that bill, they've been pushing that since how long?
Is
That
that the bill? Is that the bill that just came out that got Delta in trouble?
they're trying, but in this bill, this was the thing. Remember back when Harrison County had it, it was called the Negro Voter Protection,
Mm-hmm.
and they got like thousands of residents pretty much got letters in the mail stating that if they vote, they was facing jail time. I don't know, but this you trying to use that thank you. They're trying to use that to just perpetuate that lie the same way they did it, so that voter fraud and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's been going. That's been the excuse. They the lieutenant governor spent 22,000 hours talking about voter fraud, and he found 16 cases in 22,000 hours. So they keep pushing this and perpetuating this lie and keep repeating it to get the media attention when it's false.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like fake news or whatever. So y'all know, as far as voter suppression, Texas is ranked 48th in the nation.
Wow.
You
But I
know,
think too, like what you were saying, how they were sending the letters too. I think the letters to the home saying, you know, it will be fraudulent or whatever the case may be. It's very important that we do our due diligence and don't just go off a letter you get in the mail and say, oh, okay, I see this. Oh, I'm scared or I can't vote. But
This was
knowing
like
your rights, knowing the laws, knowing, don't just go off of that, knowing what your rights are.
Yeah. That was like maybe like 40 years ago. This was old. It was Harrison County. I don't have the number. Y'all see, y'all didn't get it was no music. No, I don't hate or motivate. I can do it for you. None of that. The
you gotta go through training.
Of the show is gone. The engineer has left the building.
So we have a comment from YouTube from Damon again, said we need to jump on board with Bron and position these Black athletes to own teams. That may change the perspective of what happens with these young Black players, including college. And I definitely agree 100%. That's what you was saying, Peaches, about that. And making sure and having those, African American owners of these teams. And maybe, just maybe, that would change the issues that they're having with these young African American players, whatever the case may be, being bribed and all that good stuff.
But they can
not to say it's gonna fully go away.
Like if they overturn that the legalities. I mean,
she done made her own word up.
Yeah, I'm gonna make them up. Like I said, if they overturn it and they gotta pay these players to come to their team, I think the sports would be, back like it used to be. It'll make the competition better because if I'm getting paid, I'm gonna go out here and show up and show out every day. Number one. Number two, if they're getting paid to play for these college teams, some of these guys have a lot of pressure on them on the home front, especially with 70% being Black.
Definitely
to actually make it. And so they might help their mom with the kids, or they might have kids, or they just feel like they're not in a situation to leave and go off to college and leave their mom them to fend for themselves, and they enter the work field by going to college. I feel like if there's some type of incentive, sports will explode. You will have people coming out the woodwork that thought that because their life was over because they had to choose.
Right. But I also think too, it can be some of our own worst enemies. So I would hope that in the event that would happen, and we did have, some public figures or some people with some money to be able to purchase some teams, that they would do their own, right. They would do right by them and not, do them wrong. Because we've seen that happen in the past in other instances and other, other things. Yeah.
But with Texas, the bills that they pushing, it's just ironic that they have, like, in some of the counties there, they only have an 8% turnout vote, and they're trying to lessen that. They said it will bar officials from sending absentee ballots unless somebody sends a request form in 4-1. It'll limit the county's authority to expand voting hours. It will require faster purchase of voter rolls. And these were some of the things that was seen in the 60s. Now, the one in Georgia that passed was they make it illegal to pass out food or drink to people standing in line in order to keep them standing in line. So these are things that we need to put our foot on, not just the big leagues. And we're looking at the NBA and the NFL to do these things. These companies that are backing these people and that's supporting these, the majority, we need to get them out of there. But
absolutely,
we spent a lot of time on Peach's picks, and today we're going to go into something that y'all kind of get the feeling for over here. This alpha female. Yeah. I'm gonna table that.
Any of y'all know one?
Nah, just playing. But first, I'm gonna table that. it's nowadays it's not frowned upon. Well, it's getting more media attention and more light with younger women and older men. I bring this up because my daughter, y'all know she goes to Florida State, and her and her best friend, pre-med babies, they do their thing, but they can't go to the grocery store. They can't go to Walmart. They're like when her friend has panic attacks because when it's time to go to these stores, because these men they are aggressive and they're on them, and they're curvy but they're 19, like they're intimidated. Today my daughter said she was getting bread and a man came to her and said, "Oh, I'm a bread distributor, and how old are you?" And she was like, she told him like, I'm 19. And he kept talking,
and he looking
was
like somebody granddaddy.
She said she was so disgusted. He was like, "Hey, if y'all have a party and you need some bread, here, take my car." Like, boy,
what would you need bread at a party? Get your line together, Grandpa.
I said this was a new one. When she told me, I thought she was gonna tell me, I was getting punked and Ashton Kutcher was gonna come running with the sign. Like, call me if you need bread. Like,
your lines is whack.
Oh, there's my baby. But
hey, Diamond.
And I asked her, I was like, where's your mace? And she was like, I had it, but these men is crazy. I do not want to get killed, and they become aggressive because I don't want to talk to them or whatever. So y'all know where we going when she come home. To the gun range. It make sense.
But that's the thing, though, and we know because it's been so much in the media. So it's like every day you turn around, you seeing that, and not only these older men talking to the young women, but we know that is also too that there are a lot of traffickers out there.
Yeah.
So these young girls have to be so careful because you don't know. It could be someone who's trying to befriend you, and this older man, and the whole time he just trying to get, you know what I'm saying, you and your friend to go hang out and do whatever and take you somewhere. So that's what scares me because you see it's so prevalent every single day. But it's that's a whole thing about these older men and sexual predators looking for young women.
But this isn't new. I always remember when we came on the boat, we were young, couldn't drink alcohol, in a new city, and it was the upper chain of command. Like they was on you. They was on you.
Immediately, as soon as you came on board.
Yes, want to show you this, want to train you here, want to send you flowers. I had one look in the recall and get the address and come to our apartment.
Wow.
Now, if that wasn't spooky, and it's scary because it doesn't get any better,
No, it don't.
So, like I said, and like Kaiser said, gun compartment. Stop playing with my baby. I wish I was I Dream of Jeannie so bad so I could fuck you on, get out of her face. Yeah, Dave, thank you. You helping me out today. Like he said, the world has definitely changed. I remember in high school, the older dudes came to the school with new cars and took all, and hopping in them cars, boom systems, everything, So the difference between now and back then was, social media presence,
Absolutely,
situations, the people coming out, and mostly growing up and looking at stuff and be like, wait a minute, that was messed up, like so the fact that we sending our children off and we want them to be so successful and to know, like, it's really it's scary to know that you so far away, like I can't get there, like because I know And she in Florida. Thought that the Ku Klux Klan was black because I'm dragging you with a rope.
But like Damon said, I can remember that, man, like it was yesterday, where these older dudes
Yeah,
would be out there with the cars, and how many of my high school friends, you'd be like, all have these grown ass kids by them old ass men. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be their boyfriend, and they would be cool because they would have, you know what I'm saying, the older dude, whatever, whatever. But that was just
Coach bag and some
hmm
Jordans, and
and it was just for a short period of time, because a lot of them ended up pregnant with them, and then that man just moved on. Maybe he had a family. He was older, you know. Maybe he had a family. He had kids, whatever. So now I see that. I see like those guys that were older then, way older now, and then you see like friends that are my age with their grown babies. They're grown, you know, coming out of high school, whatever now, and this man, it got a whole family, you know, he had that all along. And so it's just crazy that that was taking place then, but it's scarier now. You know, then it was like wrong because they were older and they were preying on younger girls, but
That's
now
why
it's a different thing. It's different. It's very
what's the
scary.
age gap? I think that it shouldn't go, 6 years, it's pushing it. And I'm thinking like a 24-year-old and maybe like a 29, 30-year-old. I feel like that. But like as a child and people that need to grow, these men, you step back, you a creep,
Yeah, creep squad.
Yeah. They out here, but that's just something
And
that's
it's
bothering
funny
me.
how the dynamic changes. So, like, for example, your daughter's 19, you know, you will be like, a dude 5 years, maybe. You know what I'm
No,
saying? It's like too much.
like
I'm just saying it's too much in that for that age. But
yeah,
then say you get up to 25, you know what I'm saying? And she dating a 35-year-old, and it's easily accepted. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, when they're younger, that age gap is it can be disturbing, because you're
I
like,
don't think you should
it's
go
a
that
baby,
far
like,
until you in your 30s. Once you hit your 30s and you've grown enough, then that age gap don't become like a big issue. But when you in your 20s and you living and you trying to figure it out, and get your you're disadvantaged. These
yeah,
men is walking circles on you. They done did you,
because
they
you
your
don't
mama.
have they don't have the experience. You know what I'm saying? Then you come in and you 35, 10 years older with all this, you done turned the little child out.
Yeah, then be wonder why they crazy. But
Tanisha said the whole Zaddy movement is glamorized by these female rappers, so young girls think it's cute. And that's the truth. It's very true. It is a part of our everyday life, all the music, the social media, everything.
that dude with the salt and pepper beard.
But he
That's
about 20, the age gap for you and him is about 20.
20.
So what?
That they need them pills about it.
So imagine you 19, add 20 to that. Come
Yeah.
on now, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, like, from my own personal experience, joined the military, went overseas. I was 18 years old, turned 19 over there, and met a dude. Dude was like 30 years old.
It was fun.
Changed my world, changed my life. But I mean, I don't regret it, but I think that there could have been a time, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think I learned too much in a short period of time for
Yeah.
me to have been that age. And that's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And then these young girls get into these situations with these older men who are well experienced, been run through and everything
Yeah.
else. And
Don't
here they
nobody
come
his
taking
people
over with
already
these
know
little
the
young
count.
girls.
Yeah, the girls his age already know the count. You got to go trick somebody else. Like we see you coming.
And then they become mesmerized, like Tanisha said. It's like a thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like a thing. Like, oh, Zaddy, and he could pay my bills, and he could do this, but know that nothing is for free. You know what I'm saying? Nothing
Okay.
comes for free. So, then they end up in these situations that for that particular age range, it's not good.
Okay, we gonna get back on to this alpha female thing. Um, you an ass. How your guy deal with you? How
So I'll tell you, like, I'm definitely an alpha female, no doubt about it. Um, and that's just because of how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? I think it comes from how you were raised. My dad was present in my life, you know what I'm saying, from birth. And so I think that plays a part in it too. But he always taught me how to do every single thing, change a light bulb, change a tire, do stuff in the house, everything, because he told me he always wanted to make sure that I didn't need a man. I could want a man all day, but that I didn't need a man.
I
And
need a
to us,
man. Not for the
no, not
things,
me.
not for the things that they want me to need them for, and
I
that's
want a
probably
man.
what.
I want companionship, but I
Yeah,
don't
I
need him.
need that. I
You
do.
can keep it pressing. I'm not gonna deal with no craziness. And
Yeah,
also
I'm
too,
not dealing with that either.
I
I got
feel like a strong man. I feel like a strong man who comes in and who can accept me as an alpha female. I need to be checked
sometimes.
sometimes. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
me
I need to
too.
be checked sometimes. And I feel like a man who's able to lead and a strong man who's able to lead and not be um intimidated by the alpha female personality. That's the type of man I have. That's the type of man I want. You know what I'm saying? And so, but you get a lot of times where people in my past, people that I've dealt with, just can't deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe for insecurity reasons or whatever the case may be. But sometimes as an alpha female too, you have to know how to, you have to know how to kind of pull it back. You know what I'm saying? Because you
Yeah,
don't want
it's not.
to
I,
be overly independent, overly aggressive, overly like you want to be fighting dudes, and
oh
they're
no,
like,
we ain't talking
come
about
on,
alpha like that. But I
But
have
you
been
have those
where
type of
I got checked
personalities.
before. I got checked before. My mouth it'll get you. Especially
It'll get you.
But I had to tell him. He looked at me and he said, "Hold on, you acting like you know what, bigger than mine." I was like, "Oh, let me check myself." But
Yeah.
where I think that people mix alpha and as not being a bull and not knowing that like we're domesticated too. Anybody that know me know I can get in the kitchen and throw down. I can cater. If you're sick, I take care of you. Different things. But you gotta earn it. Like
And
you
there's a
can't.
balance. Like I said, there's definitely a balance. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had to learn that because my dude in the beginning was like, you too aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to take it down. You need to, pull it back a little bit. And I'm like, okay, well maybe so. You know what I'm saying? I want to take the lead. I want to do everything shit that he's supposed to be doing as a man. I'm like, oh, I got it. And you know what I'm
Oh
saying? But I need to allow him and he needs to lead. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like me, I say I allow him to lead. That makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm in charge.
yeah.
but really and truly, you know what I'm saying, he is. But I have struggled with this my whole entire life. You know what I'm saying? I'm
But
a
there's
Leo.
nothing like that. Oh God.
I'm a Leo. I'm a leader by nature. I'm walking into the room like where we at, what we doing. I'm not at, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, let's go, let's do this. And so like I said, it has been difficult at times, especially in the past in dating, because some men are just truly, truly intimidated by an alpha female.
But another thing that I find that eats me up is they want you to, why people want you to be mushy, like, they want to base your life or how you supposed to react based off of their emotions. A lot of us came up like, we jumped off the porch early, ain't had no choice. I came up in the crack during the crack era. You gonna get it or get ran over. Fall in line, chameleon, lead something, but you gotta roll. And unfortunately for me, a lot of my role was, running my mama house, but I did both. Like, I graduated with honors, went to college for free, fucked it up, went to the, here I am, maybe retired, but it was, and people don't understand that, or, something that might be, big to them, cause them to act out emotion. I don't care about, because like, it be small to me, and I feel like, that's a issue that we have too, because instead of respecting how somebody is feeling, like, we train to, like, I wear mine on my, you can talk about something, but if I don't care about it, or I'm not about to argue with you, I'm not about to argue with you,
But that's the thing. That's why I say, well, for me personally, that's why I've learned that balance. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of times where I found in my personal journey with this is that, what I found is that a lot of times assertiveness and aggressive get blurred. That line, you know what I'm saying? It's one thing to be assertive, but it's another thing to be overly aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And where you
Mhm.
meet somebody, you're like, damn, she is just doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Everybody have a type. I feel like the same thing that attracted them to us is the same thing that they don't like, once they get you. Because I had
that's
to talk
true.
to my dude, and I had to say, what changed about me? Like,
Hmm.
a lot of times, like, men act off emotion as well, or how they feel like we should feel. And I had to ask, like, we was talking, and I said, what changed from me from 2 years ago to now? And he was like, nothing. I said, so if that's you know me for this 2 years, and I act the same way, why do you still get mad? Like,
Hmm.
I don't have the
Because
same.
I think in the beginning it's one way and we feel a certain way, we having fun, we having everything, but it's like when you get into it and you're like, well, damn, hold on a second, it was cool in the beginning, it was like, oh, whatever, but it's like now I'm living with the person, I'm dealing with, like, okay, 2 years been past, like I'm in this thing, you know what I'm saying, and then they really realize, like, oh shit, maybe she is like that. I think they hope for, I guess, change maybe, but the type of people that this is who we are. This is
Yeah,
who we are as people. I think also too, what plays a factor for us, I think what we have in common is the military side of the house. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? That plays a major role in me personally, my alpha personality, because that's what I have, being in the military, I had to be a certain way in a predominantly male and white
yeah.
male field. You have to be a certain way. But I was just talking to my best friend about this, and we was talking about it, and I was like, why is it that when you are assertive and you are aggressive in the military, which they teach you to be a leader, now you are angry black woman?
Yeah, you get that over but the thing that how I overcame that is I made myself, inexpendable. Like, I was like, you used to work with me. I ran circles around my peers. So, you either had to get in line and you gonna
Yeah,
get on, cause if you tell you, I've known her maybe like 15 years. My
yeah,
attitude has been the same. Like, I don't
same
tolerate
person.
disrespect or nothing. But a lot of things that I feel like, that is going on with the military, in order to deal with some of these people, you have to be aggressive. You can't be passive, because you will get ran up over. But then
Absolutely.
when it's puts on next season, and you still helping them progress and learn and excel and grow and make rank, like, it's a level of respect there that you get. So I know, like, I'm not an asshole, and anytime now, let you can't get your refund back for something or whatever, or you got then you want to get me, hey babe, this is what's going on. Talk to the lady, like then you want so you can't pick and choose. Like, you're sick. Like, my dude, he already know, like, he had that type of baby mama that like scare other people away. But he already know, like, we don't have that problem because I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna text you on the phone. Like, you see me get out the car, like things like that. So it's like it's okay. Like, and he like it because like I can't get ran over, and I'm smart. I'm book smart. I'm street smart, and like, so you're not gonna get me. If you get me street smart, I'm gonna figure out like the other people do to get you back the other way. But I'm gonna get you. But so it's
I'm gonna get you.
But y'all can't do that. Like, I feel like they pick and choose. Like, which one you want me? Like, if we in Walmart and something going on, then but
yeah, that's true. I feel like, and I had that conversation with my son's father. I'd be like, why is it that it's say when it is what's the word I'm looking for? When it's when you can use it, when it's good for you, you know what I'm saying? But then when it's not, then that's when it's a problem. It's a problem.
Yeah.
So,
and I found out, like, in the military, they would always come get me. Like, for some reason, like, all of my sailors, especially on the boat, they was big black guys. I mean, from Chicago, from East St. Louis, from somewhere in Alabama, from Miami, and they was big. So, of course, the black, and big and athletic, they come off aggressive. So,
right.
Of course, they don't want me to. You're not gonna outsmart me because that's what I do. But but it's an issue if we're all in a room and we're doing something and I'm making a point, then I'm the angry black woman. But when one of them get out of line, who they coming to get? So to get them back in line. And I'm little. Y'all know I'm 5'3". Y'all hear my voice. But now you need the angry black woman to go get the black man because you scared he's gonna grab you by your neck and throw you across the hanger bay. You're like, but I don't know.
I feel like where I've experienced it the most for me and identifying as the alpha female has been in the military for me. Military and relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the two things that in my life were being in this, like, always being told that I have that personality that I feel like it affected the most.
I never heard it until I was going through, like, once I became a E6 or whatever, and then once I became a chief and I was going through there and they was talking, oh, you an alpha, you did, like, but it was like, I'm me. Like, if I'm in a room full of other black men and women and we got the same, like, we come from the same culture, the way I talk is not gonna be looked at as intimidation. It's received because that's how we grew up, like, so
yeah.
And especially if you know me, then like, I'm really not being assertive and I don't have that beat around the bush thing,
yeah, straight to the point.
Yeah, and that too comes off. People think you disrespectful or you aggressive because you don't have the formal. Good morning. How was your day? Oh, the kids had eggs. So that ain't what I call for. I got to do. Like, good morning. How you doing? And this what I want. That's received. Wrong. Oh, you like, why I gotta play with you? We grown.
Yeah.
Unless we on Xbox, I play with my kids on Fortnite. I'm not playing with the grown people. You know what I mean? Like, just little things like that, that bother me too. But I wanted to know, like, what y'all thought, like, what's the misconceptions y'all have of alpha female? Because I feel like y'all feel like we can't be domesticated and be alpha. But you have to have leadership qualities and lead well and not crash out. With an alpha female, you ain't got about 1, 2 times to crash out. After that,
That's
I'm
it.
just gonna think you speedballing. So I drive, you ride. Like
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I definitely have always heard, it takes uh, a strong man who's able to who doesn't have insecurities. That's what I like. If you are so intimidated, me being an alpha female, you have some insecurities somewhere in here. Something happened to you. Somebody did something to you. But I feel like having a strong man who is not insecure about me being an alpha female and leading, especially in a relationship, makes it gel well. You know what
what
I'm saying?
about
But I have
this? But that's
experience.
because what about when you make more money than your significant other? You ever been in situations like that?
You thought my screen locked up? Yes, I feel like that can be a deal breaker in a sense, whereas for not for me, you know what I'm saying? Because me, I feel like if I'm in a relationship and I'm supporting you, we're together, and maybe you don't make as much as me, or vice versa, whatever, we're gonna support each other. But it
Yeah,
oftentimes comes across with men, especially with men. Okay, and then don't let you be an alpha female too. Okay, they are going to be insecure about that. No doubt about it. Now, here's where a lot of women who are alpha females go wrong. Y'all get in an argument and you like, yeah, mother, after that, I make more than you, but I bring more to the table, and you've messed
I
up.
brought the motherfucking table. Yeah,
You
yeah.
messed up. You know
But
what I'm
like
saying?
Damon was
Because
saying,
that's going to cause major issues for you in your relationship, because if he was already insecure, he's going to be double insecure now, because you have basically told him, I'm the boss. I'm the boss. And no man wants
he
to hear
wants
that.
to feel that. Yeah,
No.
but
He
like
no
Damon
matter
was
if he don't
saying,
make enough or not, he wants to know that he's the man in the relationship and he's
right.
leading. So I think that can become a major issue.
Like Damon was saying, in the military, guys have wives at home, have stay at home wives. I'm losing his comment. Okay, guys have stay wives to stay at home. They only do what their husband requests. When being alpha in the military, especially women, men become insecure. But why? Like I'm not in the bed with you. I'm not slobbing on no knobs or nothing with you. So because you need to understand that when you come out, when you walk across that brow, it's a pecking order. And the mess is flat. So you give it where you get it. I don't care like who you are. If you don't respect me, I don't have none for you. That and that's something that I got to work on or whatever. But it's I'm gonna give you the respect that you earn. Y'all know that
But
your daddy.
Claudia said it's about a healthy balance, and that's what I agree. And she said you can't be rah rah 24/7. I personally had to learn that in my younger days,
Who
because I would be rah rah 24/7.
24/7? You did?
Huh?
Who rah 24/7?
It was just I don't know. I had to learn as I grew and as I
You
grew
gotta
older.
hurry up. You need to retire so you can
But I feel like it's like, too, the military, it makes you like that. You know what I'm saying? It makes you, you know how it is. It makes you be like that.
But he's saying they
But I
insecure
agree.
on
You
that
can't
part,
be
but they
rah
don't
rah.
be insecure when they trying to get in your pants. I don't understand it. Like they coming with it, but they're
Knowing what they signing up for. You know what I'm saying? They know what they signing up for. It's like, okay, you're interested, you like me, whatever the case may be. I'm the CEO over here of this, and you over here at, whatever, making less. Is that going to be an issue for you? I think that's something that should be addressed early on. And they could say no. It's like we were just talking about before. Oh no, that's not a problem. That's not a problem.
yeah.
Then a year in, you like, it's a problem. It's a major problem. We arguing about this left and right. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that it could be a lot of times it may not be an issue in the beginning, but it can turn into something that could be an issue.
I don't know. Like a lot of times,
Uncle
like
crazy.
yeah, I see him. I ain't, but like it be hitting. You don't get to. We don't see that. Like how it come out and it be an issue because men they like the Thriller, like the Michael Jackson when he had to put his arm around you and he turned around and his eyes glue. He looked good. That y'all get me and Doctor, we going out and dating Dr. Jekyll. And then when we get in a long-term relationship, here come Mr. High, goofy ass. Like, hold on. I don't know who you is, but go get my dude. But I'm thinking, look, it's 7:50. I think we had a real round discussion. Sincere one here to guide it. Dame, thank y'all. G-Man, as always, Claudia, everybody that tuned in and contributed to the conversation, we really appreciate it. And see y'all back this time next week. Hopefully, what's the name? I ain't gonna call him. He's still in Vegas, living his best life,
Turned down for what?